it's cold out, and that was the only beanie I could find. But, whew, alright. I have to move Goldie out of the garage because she's all back together. I'm going to just put her like outside right there so it's out of the way. And then I need to move the Camaro, which Pops and I pulled the hood off the other day. I need to move the Camaro over here because I don't want to walk all the way across and have tools strewn all the way across the garage. So that's kind of what I'm going to do now. And then I'll probably turn my little heater on for a while, let it warm up in here, and then come back and we'll clean the car up and try to start coming up with a plan for it. I do already have some basic parts ordered that I know I'm just going to need, and then once I can, you know, we'll just go over everything once I get the car in place and we get it cleaned up. Goldie run for a little bit because it's been a few days, it's cold out. I want to let things get up to temperature a little bit, and then I have to drain the water out because a few videos ago I mentioned that when you're driving it from my dad's place back over here, the lower radiator hose blew off. We only put water back in it, so I'm going to drain all that out now and just not worry about it freezing the block. I probably won't drive that thing much anymore, at least for the rest of the winter, until it comes back in here and we pull the supercharger and exhaust off it and switch it to turbo. While I'm out here, oh my God, it is cold out today. Woo-hoo-hoo. While I'm out here, I'm gonna get the car moved over here and then I'm gonna go back inside for a little bit. This sucks, Jesus. Got up to about, this thing's not gonna focus at all, is it? Alright, it got up to about 165, 170, and then just so you guys can see I ain't fooling, pulled that hose off. Still draining a little bit, I'll just leave it off. Well, if I leave it off, I know I'll forget about it. And then I'm sure some asshole mouse will go in that water pump or into the radiator hose, because they do that. Real asshole mice. Fucking assholes. Mice are the worst, aren't they? This is cold. You know, good enough. I'm not staying out here that much longer. Good enough. Alright, it does feel slightly nicer in here, so we'll probably start getting to work. But real quick, something just showed up in, well, not really in the mail. I guess in the mail. I don't know why I'm overthinking that. Something just showed up. Shit, I can't get to it. Might be able to get to it. There we go. Now, I'm not sure if I want to put this on the S10 or Goldie Hawn yet, but a package showed up containing the best factory LS intake. Most of you already know what I'm about to pull out, but boom, we got the fabled bread box here. This came from, I believe it was Mitchell, LSX Irwin 01 on Instagram. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the S10 or if I'm going to put it on Goldie. I don't know yet. But for now, I am going to set it here. There we go. Close enough. So I guess let me know what you guys think, and then we'll, you know, figure it out. Alright, so first thing we got to do with the Camaro, well, I guess technically second thing we got to do with the Camaro, because like I said, we already pulled the hood off it. Just because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that myself without like seriously scratching or denting something up, so Pop stopped by and helped me with that yesterday. So the second thing we got to do is clean it up, because there's a bunch of unnecessary crap everywhere. There's pine needles everywhere, and take stock of what's here. Like I said in the last video, we got a Turbo 350 here that came with the car. This is supposed to be rebuilt, but I don't know anything about it for sure, so we're kind of taking someone's word at it. And that converter's supposed to be a 2500 stall. I don't know. Again, I'm gonna try and look up some part numbers and stuff on it, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to grab the shop vac and start cleaning all this up, because aside from it just being like grungy and gross, it's also not good because that stuff holds moisture, and that's where rot comes from. Oh, let's get that all sucked up. Alright, that's better. We got pretty much everything off of here that I could reach with the vacuum. Now the main thing is just getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't need to be in the engine bay anymore, which is going to include a good portion of it, really. And unfortunately, they welded those headers straight to the exhaust, so I'm going to have to take the Sawzall and cut it after the collector a little bit, because we're not going to be using those. That coil can go, a good portion of the wiring will go. I'm going to save all the stuff going to the headlights and stuff. And it looks like the wiring down here for the starter, like here's the wire to the switch. It looks like this harness gets its power for everything going in the car from the battery lead to the starter as well. So that's nice and convenient. And this is all alternator shit. We're not going to use this coil. We are going to need this white wire for the master ignition. This looks like some sort of temperature switch maybe, or temperature sensor. Not really sure. Temperature oil perhaps. A lot of this stuff can come out. And we were noticing the other day that they got this motor mount bolted in and then that one welded in, which is okay. I don't particularly care one way or another, except that it looks kind of like that one sits back a little bit further. You can see this one right there. So that's funny. So gonna have to probably cut that one off. I'll take some measurements to make sure it's not an optical illusion, but I think that they got the one in and then sat the motor in and then just ran a bead where it was and didn't notice that it was crooked. So that's something that will be addressed. And then there's two speedo cables here. This one goes down by where the transmission is. This one goes in through the firewall. I don't know if there was something that sat here, some sort of cruise control setup. I have zero clue on that. But we can start getting rid of a good portion of this, and then once the engine bay is pretty much gutted of anything that's not going to be needed in there, we'll start talking about the actual plans for it and going over more specific ideas, I guess. Alright, so I got most of the crap out of here. I got this harness actually like up and in place where it's supposed to be, or at least where it looks like it's supposed to be, because there's this like groove there for, I'm assuming that, I don't know what else it'd be. We got all the wires to the starter saved. These are the wires to the alternator. The only one I think I'm gonna have to save out of there is just the one that goes to the gauge to show it's charging. The throttle cable I'm gonna have to replace. The headers, I think I'm pretty much at the point where I just need to cut those. Although I guess I could try to just take the entire exhaust system out all at once. But man, it's a bummer that they welded them. This shifter can come out of here because the cable and shit is down there for the shifter. like the console shifter. All the wires that I cut, I got saved right here. I didn't tuck them out of the way because I'm gonna heat shrink the ends. That way they don't like short out on anything. And yeah, here you can see just masterful welding. I guess I shouldn't talk shit. I've laid down some pretty gross beads. So yeah, the only things left in here that still have to come out are the exhaust system and this power steering pump. But I think I might leave that for now because I don't want to make a mess on the floor. But I do want to... Jesus! Alright. Cool. There we go. That's what I meant to do. That's what I wanted. Fucking genius. Real smart feller here. I got some stuff that I want to spray on this. God dang it, I thought I got all this. I'll vacuum it one more time. But I've got some stuff that I want to spray on here. Cool, it came out. And that one is missing. Alright. I got some stuff that I want to spray on here to neutralize all this rust. I might take this battery box out too and try and get underneath it. Alright, I got the battery box out. And like you can see where it's starting to get pretty corroded there. But surprisingly, underneath it is damn near mint, which is something I rarely see. Like, I don't know about you guys, but almost every time I look underneath one of those, it's just rotted. But that's cool. So I'm going to hit all this with the wire brush real quick, and then we'll coat it and call it good, because that's pretty much the only like spot of rust or anything I've seen on the car so far. Alright, so we'll let that do its thing. The can starting to gum up a little bit, so that's why it was spraying kind of hard, but should do its job just fine. We might have to get underneath it a little bit, but we'll wait until we're under the car to do that, instead of right now when it'd be convenient and let it all dry at once, but whatever. Does this bug anybody else when there's just like what's wrong with running the wire under here where it's probably supposed to go? What does that wire even go to? Feels like it's probably a ground, but still, why would you do that? Anyway, aside from cutting the exhaust system out, that's pretty much all we can do for now. Oh wait, no, we gotta look in the trunk still at other parts. There's you. Here's a solid transmission mount. That might come in handy. Random spark plugs. The drive shaft U-joint straps that I could have used the other day. Those right there, because they probably need them. A plastic flex fan. A couple random bolts. No cap on it, which is nice. Doesn't look like there's anything else important in there. Alright, so with that we can start talking about the actual specifics of the thing. So like I said in the last video, he wants just a nice summer cruiser, reliable, drive it anywhere, get decent mileage. And he has, I think he said 4 5.3s laying around. So that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna stay NA, it's just a nice healthy cam. I'm talking with Justin Baker, we're trying to figure out what we want to go with. We're gonna use a Texas Speed cam. I love Texas Speed. I love Texas. I wish I were in Texas right now. It's cold as fuck here. Anyway, so it's gonna be a real simple recipe. Just 5.3 turbo 350 NA. It should make somewhere between 3 and 350 to the tire, which will be plenty. I mean, realistically. And we're going to be using a set of Speed Engineering long tubes, 1 3/4 long tubes. I'm not sure if I'm going to tie it into this exhaust system, like from front of the doors back, or what we're gonna do. But I've got the headers and some motor mounts coming and a couple other things, but I wanted just the headers and the motor mounts so I could figure out where the engine's gonna need to sit. And then after that I can figure out if the truck manifold will fit comfortably. I'm probably gonna go with something else, mostly because it's ugly. I've seen people like with this second gen body they'll fit the truck manifold, but I mean, trying to build something kind of nice, let's be honest, you can make decent power with it, but it's hideous. So that's where we're at with the Camaro. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys stick around for the build. I think it'll be a rad car once we get it done. I think it's just gonna be a street beater, in a good way though. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys stick around for the build series, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you next time.